unlock your china cabinets, because this week we're breaking stuff on MacDump. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Will.
And you are still listening to MacDump.
Probably the worst hobby-related podcast out there at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and award myself that medal. So what's our topic this week, Andrew?
All right, so this week, like I mentioned in my wonderful introduction, we are trying to break the game of HVZ, which, as a disclaimer, we do not endorse any of these ideas. In fact, you are a horrible player if you think any of these are good ideas, and you should be shamed if you try to do any of these. By the way, any generic game of HVZ. But that being said, we're saying them anyway because we need content.
Yeah, no, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be trying to, think of ways that if we were, not us, ways that problematic players could, in theory, break the game if such a thing is possible. It might not be. We'll figure it out. And then we're going to flip it around and see, as moderators, how would we deal with these kinds of players. So the whole point of this is not to give you guys out there any ideas on how you can go around and abuse the game rules, but it is to sort of give you guys, as moderators, perhaps, ideas on how to deal with troublesome individuals.
Yep. All right, so I'll go up first. I am a player, and I'm a pretty experienced player. You know, I've gone to my fair share of HVZ games, and I decide it's time to upgrade my gear. So I dump a couple $100 and I buy myself a proton pack. And then maybe I equip my friends with proton packs too. And I'm sure all of you know what a proton pack is, but if you don't, it's a backpack full of rival rounds hooked up to a blaster that spews them at full auto. So you should never feasibly ever run out of ammo during HVZ gameplay. And if you do, it's incredibly easy to reload. So that's a proton pack. And here's why I think that's completely broken as a player. Because literally all you have to do is hold down the trigger and spin around in a circle, and you are essentially untouchable. If you have a squad of like 4 of them, what are the zombies going to do? You're not going to run out of ammo. It just seems bad, you know? I mean, I guess you got special zombies, but that's really the only way to deal with it, and it feels kind of cheap. So what do you think, Will?
Okay, so... Sorry, I had some chocolate. Okay, so, as a moderator, so I'm a moderator, and you've just rolled up to my game with your van load of buddies with proton packs. First off, how much money do you have? Because these are like... these are a couple $100 apiece. So
we are grown-ass adults with no jobs with jobs and no families.
So you guys step out of your limo with your proton packs at my college game, and stuff starts to go sideways. I'm not gonna lie, it's powerful. We have had proton packs at Purdue. Well, we've had one. We're about to have more. I know of a couple of players who have built or acquired them over the pandemic, especially since they're now available on Out of Darts. So this is actually a very relevant question for us at Purdue. And so the question is, how do I make it so that your squad of 5 to 6 dudes or women with proton packs doesn't just absolutely curb stomp and not die? And I don't think it would be broken. I think it'd be broken for those people. But I think that, you know what, a good squad could change the balance of the game if they worked effectively towards the objectives and didn't just fool around amongst themselves. So I could see it being a problem as far as the overall length of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
So let's just say we turtle with the main human group. You know?
Yeah.
What are the zombies gonna do? How are they gonna get kills?
Okay. The obvious answer to this, is just special zombies. I would find 1 or 2 that work really well. And again, the key is you got to know which specials work good for which kinds of missions. You know,
Mhm.
If you're trying to do a hold mission, you mentioned turtling. Say I'm asking you to hold the fountain or something, and you're all trapped inside there. I throw in, a tank or something else that's unstunnable. Have it march through there, a horde eye. He's gonna walk
Mhm.
right through the fountain and do a loop. And maybe he's not gonna get tags, but he's going to throw people off enough that the rest of the horde can get some good tags.
Mhm.
And then the other thing is uh, double up on my sort of lesser specials, your predators, your respawners. Just crank that difficulty level up because a proton pack is not an invincibility shield. It helps a lot. It helps a lot, but if you just turn the dial up, they are going to make mistakes. Which the problem with that, and I know you're about to chew me out on this, is then it makes it less fun for the rest of your players. Your locals who show up with a Maverick, and now all of a sudden I'm cranking up the difficulty to deal with a squad of vets, which is, I get it, not fun for them. And the way we've dealt
Yep.
with this, the way we've dealt with this specific problem in the past, I mentioned we did have a couple proton packs show up throughout the past 2 or 3 years. It's been 2 or 3 years. I just pulled it up from an Instagram post. That's my side thought. The way we've dealt with this in the past is we actually have put a capacity limit for socks. If you have over a certain number of rounds, you cannot use socks, which I know that's kind of heresy to take away the most integral weapon in HVZ. But then all you have to do is throw in a couple predators, and your proton pack people, your super powered, your superhumans, if you will, are just as vulnerable and scared as the rest of the human player base when you throw in those sock zombies. And I think that's been a very effective way to do it in the past, and I think that's honestly that would be my go-to balancer right off the gate. You all step out of your limo with proton packs. Hey guys, no socks. And
Yep.
and that's the easiest thing to do because that doesn't affect anyone else except that particular group of humans.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only bad thing about that is you're going to be tempted to, throw in more predators as well, especially if there's like one sock ninja running around. And the more predators you have, the worse it gets for everybody else playing the game. And honestly, I guess that's why I feel the proton packs are so broken because you could deal with them as a moderator, but there's really no good solutions because no matter what you do, someone is going to get butt hurt because someone brought a proton pack. And it's either going to be the people that spent all the money on proton packs because they're going to be so incredibly like gimped by not being able to stun a zombie that everybody else can. Um, a lot of people are going to think that's unfair. In fact, I believe our dude that made a proton pack thought it was unfair, didn't like the rule, but at least he understood it. If you have a less understanding player, that could go south pretty fast.
That's true.
Or if you don't do any sort of balancing, then your zombies are just going to absolutely hate it because getting pelted by 3 or 4 rival rounds at 130 is fine, but once you get pelted by a stream of 50 of them, then it gets to a little bit of the no fun territory. And being completely honest, we had players that nearly rage quit a practice mission because someone brought a proton pack and was just hosing them down.
That's true.
So, moral of the story is players, you better be a really cool guy if you bring a proton pack because everybody else is going to think you're not not a
Well,
nice person.
well, to that point, as a moderator, when you look at the grand scheme of things, you're right. Somebody's going to be upset no matter what you do. And if I have to make somebody mad, I'm going to lean on the people who showed up with the proton pack, right?
Yep.
I'm going to lean on that player because I don't say it's their fault because it's not their fault, but I'm going to lean on them more than I'm going to lean on the guys who just showed up to have a good time. They shouldn't be the ones who are having to adjust. It should be the people who are showing up who are throwing the wrench in things. Not that I believe that people shouldn't bring proton packs to HVZ because I have no problem with that whatsoever. I think it's fun. I don't like banning anyone's blaster or gear whatsoever unless there's a genuine safety reason for it.
Yeah.
And another thing, I think one of the reasons why that particular instance it made such a difference in HVZ, because I remember the mission to which you're referring to, and just at Purdue in general. So our collective experience, because most of it's been at Purdue, our games have been pretty small. And when you have a
Yeah.
game of, when you have a horde of like what, 20, 30 zombies, one guy with a proton
Mhm.
pack is huge. But if you were
Yeah,
to,
he can pull it on board easily.
get a decent sized game, and I'm not talking like 2015 or earlier where they had the 200 or 300 person games. I'm talking 2018. We had 120 people. If you had a horde of 60 and you had two or three guys with proton packs, I don't think it would be it definitely wouldn't be as broken. So that's just something else to keep in mind. Is with the smaller games, the technology level can lead to larger imbalances,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. In the end, what really balanced the proton pack for us was that the one dude that made it, it was still a prototype and it broke a lot.
Which
So the very fact that his proton pack, at least at the time, was not very reliable was probably the biggest factor in balancing it during the HVZ game. Like that, and then he didn't play very many missions because he had exams going on. But yeah, it's still yet to be seen at Purdue what a fully reliable um, Rule 1 breaker with a proton pack can do.
which, by the way, this is a tangent, and I might cut it, but he's got that thing running smoothly, and he brings it to every event now.
Wonderful. Do
But
people like it? Like, do people hate playing against it?
no, people love it. But we've only done PvP stuff right now.
Mm.
And plus he's a mod, so he has he has to make the game fun. That's the rule. That's his job. But we do Juggernaut type stuff, and he takes the proton pack, and it's people love it.
All right, so next scenario, breaking the game. Will, you're our player. You're our. Are we allowed to say douche canoe?
Yes.
All right, Will, you're the douche canoe player. How are you breaking the game?
This is a tough one because I don't know if HVZ can actually be broken. I really don't. I think I can make people have a very unpleasant time at HVZ. I don't think I can break. I don't think there's anything I can do that can break the game. But I'm going to latch onto the worst as a mod to the worst thing that happened to me. I'm gonna try to make that happen for the other mods. So I'm a player and I'm trying to break the game, or quote unquote break the game. In other words, I'm trying to ruin as many people's day as possible. I don't know why I'd be trying to do this, but hypothetically, you went full in balls to the wall human. I would do the opposite. I would full in balls to the wall zombie. I don't know what school I'm playing at. I'd try to find, my squad of 5 or 6, but I'm going for your super athletic dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Your runners, your jumpers, your former high school track stars, former high school baseball stars, guys like the OG OZ or Connor,
Mm-hmm.
and I would get my van load of these guys, no blasters. We show up, we either all OZ or we all just kamikaze like that. And then we try your absolute hardest to crush the game just through tags.
Yeah.
That would be the easiest way for me to break, and I know that's ridiculously easy to balance just by doing stun timers. But I think the key to that is probably to wait till the second or third mission. Go really light for the first 2 or 3 missions, maybe even play as a human, and then the second or third, your Tuesday night, your Wednesday night, when missions are traditionally a little bit easier to give the humans a break. You're not so focused on horde building, you're focused on dragging it out to the end of the week. And then you would try to, in the course of one mission, tag as many people as possible, because as a moderator, I know that one of the hardest things to do is balance on the fly. I can balance, it's really easy to say, okay, for starting tomorrow, stun timers are going to be higher, or for tomorrow night's mission, we're going to throw in 2 new specials. But what happens when during that mission you have people wiping like crazy? Like, that's going to require instant response, excuse me. That's going to require on the field, on your feet thinking, outside, with whatever communication you have set up between your various roaming moderators, trying to communicate stuff to the players, which is very hard to do. So I'd be looking to, I would just go all in. How many tags can we get in one mission?
Interesting.
That would be how I would do it. And
I'm
again,
jump in now.
I do not believe that we would break the game. I do not think that a good pack of zombies could break the game, unless it was like when that happened to us. We were very inexperienced moderators and we had no idea what we were doing and we did not respond accordingly. But I think if you had any kind of experienced moderators, I don't think that would break the game. I think it'd make it very unpleasant for some people, but I don't think that would break the game. And to be fair, again, I would never do this. This is just how the most problematic I could see a player being.
All right, so I'm going to jump in. I'm the moderator now. We have a squad of Usain Bolts being our zombies. And so first thing as a moderator, I would only be worried if this happened on night 1. Because night 1, people are still getting used to the game. You don't have a good feel for how many people are showing up, how many people are actually going to be in, because not everybody shows up to the first mission. Maybe they have homework or exams or something. Or if it's an invitational, maybe they're coming in from out of town and they couldn't make the first mission. So I would only really be worried if all of my players got wiped in mission 1. Because it's difficult to have a mission 2 if you don't know if there's any humans left still alive. So the best way to mitigate that as a moderator, the day 1 wipe, is in the past we've done free respawn for a human that signs a friend up to play the game. Any sort of respawn is good for a sort of like pseudo start over, a pseudo redo to the game week, so you can try again at Tuesday. That works. The other thing you can do is just if you have some sort of kill tracking system, you can see how many people are zombified now. And you can kind of say that if you have 100 people sign up, you're going to have like 50 people show up for a mission?
Yeah,
so
usually it's about half.
If 40 people died and you have 50 people left, or 60 people left, but maybe you're only going to get 10 or 20 of those that'll actually show up as humans for the rest of game week. So that's another thing. You just have to play the odds, know what ratio of people are actually going to show up versus how many are signed up. Definitely the easiest way around it, though, is just offering some sort of respawn system. Now, if this happens on like a Tuesday, you probably know better who's going to be showing up and who had exams and whatnot. So you can probably rationally guess if everybody on Tuesday gets wiped, but you recognize there was like 6 or 7 guys that showed up to the mission on Monday that did not show up on Tuesday, probably don't need to do anything as a moderator other than make the stun timers longer, because you'll still have 6 or 7 humans showing up, plus people that may not have shown their face yet. If this happens on a Wednesday, it's honestly preferred, because Wednesdays, the moderators try to get all the humans killed anyway. So if the zombies want to help me out with that, go for it. Bring it on, zombies. But I don't know. I think the group of uber zombies would be more of a blessing than a curse for somewhat experienced moderators.
Yeah, I suppose. I'm just thinking that as a mod, it's very hard to balance during the game itself.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Okay.
See, and everything you've said has been reactive after the mission is over. What do you do during a mission if people are dying and dying and dying? I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be really easy. If you know what you're doing, it's really simple.
So what I would do, if it's like a Monday or a Tuesday, I would just call the mission and say the humans have taken too many casualties and, mission over. There you go. You can sort of preempt this as well. Normally at Purdue, we don't like safe zones, but we generally have 1 safe zone total on the entirety of the play area. So at least there's somewheres for the humans to rally back to, and then you can just call the mission from there. That's a good way to preserve the remaining humans. It happens on a Wednesday. If I'm a moderator, I just say, fine, let them die. I guess that makes me a sort of harsh moderator, but that late in the game week, I'd rather the game end early to a wipe and have legends about how good the zombies were that week, then I would have a oops, feels bad, man. We didn't balance this properly. We're just gonna make all those tags yesterday don't count.
Right. Yeah. See, it's really easy if you know what you're doing. I think we only had a problem because we didn't back in 2017.
All right. Well, I have one more scenario for you.
All right, one more, and then we'll call it.
Yep. I am now a human. Okay. And I have a squad of veteran human players. We don't have proton packs, but we have our gear. We're good at it. And it's night 1, and we decide that the best way to prevent the zombies from tagging people is to camp the zombies and shoot them immediately as they respawn, or sock them immediately as they respawn if they're predators, or prevent them from respawning in advantageous locations in the first place. So we had a hold mission, Will and I. We were humans. It was a Wednesday where the zombies we were holding at this one area, and the zombies could respawn anywhere in the area on a tree that was 15 feet away from humans. So we scattered all the humans and put one human on a tree, and the zombies couldn't respawn when they were supposed to, and that essentially broke that mission. I'm talking about that, but on a Monday when there's like 4 zombies. How do you solve that?
I think it's really easy to crank the zombies up versus trying to turn them down mid-mission, right? So I got my pile of orange and yellow vests as a mod, and I'm walking around and I'm watching dudes camping. Don't break rule 0. If you're standing 3 feet away from a dude with a night finder pointed at his head, waiting to pull the triggers, I'm gonna call you on a rule 0. But let's assume that you're staying just over like the rule 0 line. You're letting them get 15 feet away, respawn, and then you're going to get them. If I see that happening, I'm just gonna be like, zombie, orange vest, go nuts. Zombie, yellow vest, go nuts. You drop a grave mine in instead of 4, now you have 8 to deal with because you get 2 charges of 4. You drop in, a grave mine and an enlightened one, presuming that you briefed the humans accordingly. And now you have 16 zombies running at you. You drop in 3 predator vests and a grave mine, and now you have 6 sock only zombies and that's 2 waves of 3 plus your 2 respawn waves. So that's 8 special zombies running at you. I don't think that your veteran people are going to hold up against that for long. Hell, I'm pretty sure that every time, let's see, 2019, every time I got tagged was a predator, right? And I kind of knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
Actually, I think every time I've been tagged in HVZ was a special, which is not saying a lot because I haven't played like a ton of games, but every time I've been tagged at Purdue was a special. Which, like, even, I guess the TLDR of that is just add specials because even veterans can have their day ruined by specials.
Yeah, sure. I'll end this with a word of warning to moderators, though. On your first mission, if nobody can use the blaster they brought because everybody is a special or like a predator that can only be tagged by socks, your humans are going to get real salty real fast. Because if you run a mission where humans can't use the blasters that they may have dropped a pretty penny on, there's going to be some high-level player salt.
Okay, I know we talked about what next week's episode is going to be, but we're going to make an audible. We're going to end on that note. This has been Mag Dump. I'm Will. That's Andrew.
I'm in.
Join us next week as we discuss special zombies and their place in HVZ.
Sounds good. Can't wait. It'll be a fun conversation.
Thank you guys for listening.